Hello everybody, welcome to OCHD and welcome to another Jumputi Heroes news video. Before we get into the news for today, just a quick reminder for anybody that hasn't checked out our second channel on original content in HD. Link is in the description. We're still uploading 3 times a week and it's got a bunch of anime related stuff, gaming related stuff like quizzes and us playing silly games and whatever. Please check it out if you haven't already. And that's the end of the plug. We're going to jump into the Jumputi Heroes, the good stuff. We have an interesting event here because the way it was advertised to me was that this is like, they were acting like it was like 3 or 4 events squished into one. They were like, it's the summer campaign, it's the tower anniversary campaign, the half anniversary campaign. It was the 23 million downloads event, the summer heroines event. It was all this stuff, and I don't know. Does the content live up to the name? Let's talk about it. This is the summer heroines special feature, Grand Summer Vacation. Now this event has, to be fair, not an awful character lineup, not a very big character lineup, but not an awful one. What you see is what you get pretty much. There's 7 characters there. You might argue 8 because you can see Con in the background, but Con is part of Rukia's ult. So 7 characters. I would like to see a standalone Con, whether it's his, like, you know, his little bear form, or whether if it was like his actual like fake Ichigo form or whatever. That'd be kind of cool. There are lots of issues that people will have with this event, and there's lots of things that people will like about this event. And I guess let's just jump into it and see where we land. So first things first, we have the line keyword campaign. You literally just go to the line chat with Jumputi Heroes, and you can copy and paste this in. It basically says like celebrating 23 million downloads worldwide. You just copy and paste that in and you get a link, or you just click here and get the link. It's the same thing. Or if you're in Discord, the link is there as well. Try to make this as easy as possible for you, so you don't have to worry about all these weird campaigns they put on. Here is another weird campaign. Special Twitter campaign. You have to go to the link. You have to follow the Jumputi Heroes account. You have to retweet the tweet linked, and you have to tweet with these hashtags. Now, admittedly, this is only going to affect a very small portion of the player base because only 5 players can win the grand prize and 100 players can win the runner-up prize. The five players are going to win 1 million yen worth of rubies, which is like 100,000 rubies or something like that. I think it was 150,000, I want to say. It was a lot, regardless. And then a special limited choice ticket, which we do, I don't know if they've announced the contents of, but most likely it's nicer than the run-of-the-mill ones that we get. But also, one thing that they weren't necessarily very upfront about was the fact that they have also included rewards for everybody. So for hitting certain milestones during this campaign, certain amount of people tweeting and retweeting and whatever, we're going to get special rewards in addition to these ones here. So these ones are only going to be for, in total, 105 players, but there are rewards that everybody's going to get. I think they were quite nice. I think they were like limited. There were like some limited tickets and some other stuff. So it's pretty good. It's pretty good. So make sure you go and do that if you haven't already. And you never know, you might be the big winner. Then let's oh, why have I got that on? Let's get rid of that. I had a little blurb here to talk about seasonal characters. Now, to be 100% transparent, the game doesn't necessarily refer to them as seasonal per se. And I mean, in a way, they're not seasonal. Some of them are. Some of them, it's like, they're a summer unit. They come back in the summer. But like some of the characters, like Minato, it was just, they just kind of added him. To be honest, same with Itachi, who I use as an example here. He's not related to a specific season. And I feel like when they initially did seasonal characters, it was because it was like, you know, a summer event or something like that, a Christmas event, characters that were related to a specific season. So it made sense for them to only come back during that season. And sometimes they had costumes that weren't necessarily like canon. They might be from a like special art cover or something like that. So it made sense that it wasn't like the regular version of the character that's always available. They refer to these characters more as like a restricted, I mean, they might say limited. We say limited for our like top tier units, one of our top tier units. But it's like it's a restricted thing. They're not going to be added to limited choice tickets except on the special seasonal banner limited choice tickets. They're not going to be added to the general pool at any point. So these characters are kind of special. On the database, they have a little blue halo around them, but in the news post, they're often highlighted in purple. There are some seasonal event units, but I have found them to be somewhat inconsistent with what they consider to be a seasonal event unit. Some characters like Kai and Shiba definitely is, or Summer Hisoka definitely is, but there are other characters that they just didn't bring back, and then suddenly they decide, oh, actually, we will bring them back. We'll add them in the logbook or whatever. So, we haven't really done anything to specify when an event unit is seasonal, but for standard gacha and for limiteds, we do. And that's worth saying here because there are some seasonals in this event and there are some non-seasonals. All being added in the same event, but some of them will come back probably in a month or two, and some of them won't. So, let's get into it. The login bonus, one of, well, 2 of 5 or something like that. There's a few. Giving us rainbow tickets and rubies and other stuff. The rainbow tickets we'll talk about when we get to it. The shaved ice, I haven't actually checked. It says it can be used as a power-up item, and it seems like we are getting a fairly decent number of them, but I didn't actually check if you can use these items to level up skills. And I'm literally, I've got the game open now and I'm going to check because I've got some characters that are not max skill, and I'm just going to see if they do give skill XP, because sometimes they specifically tell us and sometimes they don't. So shaved ice, it does indeed give skill XP. So a very nice item. We are going to get a decent number of these from various places. So make sure to use these because I think it gives quite a lot of EXP. Use these on the characters where it's going to be like, you know, they're level 1 and they can, and you've got their level cap awakened to 15 or 12 or whatever. And that way it's going to do a lot of the work for you. Don't use it on a character that's 1 out of 6. And it's like, oh, they go straight out to 6 out of 6. It's got more EXP to give than that. Give it a character that's 1 out of 12 or 1 out of 15. Sure, that's fine. Now, the rainbow ticket, they're doing a lot more tickets like this. Now, you might argue that this is more like a special summer thing because it's like we have big celebrations in the summer. A lot of people are going to be home from school, or, you know, they're going to be on the summer holidays or whatever. So maybe we could try to tempt them to play Jumputi. We'll give them lots of freebies. Or is this just the norm now? I don't know. But we seem to be getting a lot of tickets where there's like limiters on there, there's standard gacha on there, there's event characters on there, and like all the event characters come at like 6-star. That's been the case for the last 2 or 3 of these. So like, if you're a new player, you don't have to evolve them. They're already evolved. It gives you a jumping off point for like, you know, using those evolvers on characters that actually need it, like limited characters, standard gacha characters. And there are limiteds in here. Like, again, if you're a new player, if you can get lucky with these, like, I mean, even I got lucky with it. I got Boa for free. I didn't have her. So yeah, there's some good stuff in here. And there's still some things I don't have. I don't have Ginkgo. So if I could get her, that would be great. Sephiria. Don't have Sephiria. That would be great. And there are, you know, there's going to be loads of people that don't have like most of these or maybe any of these. So chances are you're going to get at least like a few over the course of the event because they give quite a few of these tickets. And so I'm praying for you that you get some good luck because there are some actual really good units in here. And we have seasonal hero grade units. Again, some of these I am missing and a lot of people will be. So the fact that you can get these for free, bear in mind, a lot of these units, when they were released, were actually made very difficult to obtain. Like a lot of the gacha was like, oh, on the third multi get one guarantee, but if you wanted like a specific one, they made it so that it was you just couldn't do it for a lot of these when they first came out. And so now you can potentially, if you get very lucky, get some of these. Obviously these are not the only standard gacha units on here, there are others, and you know, there are event units as well. Basically the theme is they're all like female characters, but still, actually, I think the event units might also be seasonal. I can't quite remember, but I've got a lot of the seasonal, like the Christmas. Who is it for Christmas? Rizu from We Never Learn, and there's a few others. So it's like you can get quite lucky here. I hope that you do. I hope that I do. I hope that I do, because if you've started in like the last few months, like, you won't have any of these. So pretty good. It's pretty good. Then we have another login bonus. This one is for 23 million downloads. As far as I can see, even though they made a big deal about this being like a dual event, 23 million downloads basically boils down to this login bonus. Not that I'm necessarily complaining about the rewards, because the rewards are nice. We're getting stamina tankards, which are always good. And we are getting these tickets, which, as you can see, gives you a chance at limiteds and good stuff. Includes characters up until, like, the Bobobo Festival. Well, I say up until. It includes characters from that event. I haven't actually checked the pool to see if it includes, like, Boruto, Naruto, who would be, like, in between the Bobobo event and the stuff that came before it. So, still, really good pool of characters. You can get some good stuff. This one is not like the other one where the rates are like, they're all going to be 5-star or 6-star. This one does have 3 stars and 4 stars in it, but you do get a guaranteed 5-star every multi. And if you get lucky, you can get a lot of good stuff. So, pretty nice. I am a little bit disappointed on the whole, like, 23 million downloads doesn't have much more to it. Obviously, some people have asked or speculated, could there be more to it? If not more to the 23 million downloads, more to like, you know, the Tower anniversary or something like that. Like, it's weird how the login bonuses are broken up. This one's broken up into 3 parts. This one's broken up into 2 parts. Like, a lot of things are broken up in this event. Is it possible that there is more? I wouldn't rule it out completely, but I think it's very unlikely. And the only reason I say that is because they've already got stuff in this data download that is for the Bleach event, or rather the countdown to the Bleach event. So I can't necessarily see them adding more, except for maybe one thing we could talk about a little bit later. But for now, I'm not expecting anything. And you know what? That's okay. It's the only downside is the fact that they decided, yeah, this is enough content for 18 days. It's a very long period of time. With them they added like 7 characters, most of which I believe are available day 1. So it's not the way I would have done it. And it's a bit strange to me. The only thing screaming to me about what we've talked about so far that seems like they wouldn't do that is the fact that both the limited started on the same day, first day of the event, and that means there's going to be like 17, 18 days uninterrupted without them releasing a new limited. That is, it's not that I think that's a bad thing, it's just very unlike them. It is very unlike them not to have at least one limited come out in between, like, you know, the start of this event and the end, somewhere in the middle, just to give reason to come back onto the game, you know? But all speculation, of course, all speculation. Summer campaigns. We have the Strengthening campaign, which is actually not part of the summer campaign. It's part of the previous events campaigns, and it just carries on throughout summer, but nonetheless, still good if you need coins. The coin stage is boosted. If you need evolvers, if you need legend summon books, if you need rank EXP, like all that stuff is all boosted, so pretty good. The stamp card, which is basically, ever since they updated it to include the superstar limited gacha ticket fragment. They haven't done anything with it, and even then, when they put that there, it was only replacing something similar. Like, they rarely touch this, and as a special thing for summer, I'm hoping that they continue this in the future, because it's quite nice. They've added rubies and other ores. I mean, look at all this stuff. It's pretty nice. On top of that, we have these Jumputi J stamps, these things here. And as you collect these, you'll get even more rewards, including if you log in 30 days during this event, or during this month, I should say, you will get a limited choice ticket. So that's pretty damn good. The Summer Bingo, which they've revamped this so that the rewards are actually really nice. I mean, if you look at the missions, largely irrelevant. Community missions, these are just going to get cleared as we play through. But look at these rewards. They are stunning. There are so many good things in here. And the 500 rupees at the end is obviously very, very nice. Pretty good. Rewards in this event, pretty good. We have Girls and Meet Summer. Obviously, we all know what that means, right? I'm suspicious that they meant to spell that with an A, and it's Girls and Meet Summer, but I don't know. God, like maybe it's like a gathering of girls summer. I don't know. I don't know. But clear it every day. 50 rubies. This has become the standard. But make sure you're doing it. Clear the daily stage every day. Get your 50 rubies. But this one, you also get a rainbow gacha ticket every day. So we're getting 18 of those tickets just from this. So that's really nice. Make sure that you do that. Then we have the Grand Summer Vacation Mission. Now this, we're not going to go into... Well, I guess we can quickly go through the dev post later. There's not a lot to it. I haven't done the full news post on it yet. But there's not a lot to say. But one of the things they touched on was the fact that recently there have been less standard stages. You know, we haven't had many Transcendent class stages, Ultimate class stages, Catastrophe class stages. And most stuff in most events has just been all squished together into one event store, one stage you farm, and then there's like a few challenge stages, and then you get on with your day. They said, look, we understand, you know, people want to see more of that, but ultimately we're trying to broaden the appeal of the game. We want as many people to be able to get into the game as possible, and having all these stages, some of which are quite difficult, it makes it harder for new players, makes it harder for players whose accounts aren't as strong as others. So that's why they squished it all into one. You know, they had those events where if you could just clear one stage and you can get that event's currency, you could just keep clearing that stage, get it, and you can get all the event characters, which means you can clear all of those missions. They obviously acknowledge the fact that people do like the variety of stages. It feels a bit less bland, especially in an event like this. 18 days, it's a long period of time. So they have broken it up a little bit. So it's all sort of under the same umbrella, and you still have the opportunity to just farm that same currency and go to the store and trade the currency in and get the characters. But these new characters do have their own stages, which I think is pretty cool. So the free currencies are the seafood set, meat set, and vegetable set. Obviously, we're setting up for a barbecue here, so you need the ingredients for the barbecue, stuff to put on the barbecue. And you can farm these items from 4 different stages. One of them drops all 3, but the other 3 stages drop 1 of each. So I think it's here, you can see the 3 stages lined up next to each other. This one drops the seafood, this one drops the meat, this one drops the vegetables, but there is a 4th one that drops all 4, but that doesn't come until later in the event. So definitely interesting. And you can see that these stages also drop their respective characters, which we'll talk about in a second, but it's basically a way of trying to keep it interesting, I guess. And then once we have the items, we're going to need a barbecue to put it on. So beat this stage once to get the barbecue, and you get enough of the ingredients, you can use the barbecue and the ingredients, trade it in for a golden jewel. They've become a lot more generous with jewels recently, golden jewels included. I guess with the amount of characters that go to level 15 now, it's kind of needed. But yes, very, very nice. And lots of rewards. Simple as, just lots of rewards in the event exchange. So here are the stages. We have Ocean Vacation, where of course you can get the seafood set, but you can also get Yui Kotegawa from To Love Ru. Version 2 for her. Most of the To Love Ru girls have had at least one seasonal version. This is her first like new version of the character since she was released. Sprite is massively updated. They've definitely got somebody in who like knows Yabuki Sensei's art style, like the shading. If you look at the shading on the hair and the way the colors slightly change, that is very much indicative of like modern Yabuki color pages. So very big change between her version 1 and this version here. And this is just continuing. You know, I think have all of them got Haruna Seirenji has version 2, Lala does, Nana does, Momo does. I think pretty much all of them. I try to think of the other To Love Ru girls, but my brain's going blank. But anyway, very nice addition. Yeah, there are some people are saying that like To Love Ru's got quite a bit of attention. Like, you know, was present in the Christmas event, was present in the New Year event, present here as well. Also present in the crossover event To Love Ru and Black Cat. So it's been getting more attention recently. Obviously, it's not on the you know pedestal of like One Piece or whatever that's just constantly getting stuff. But I don't hate this edition. I think it's kind of cool. She gets a new sprite, which she deserves. It's only an event character, so not a big deal. And hardly the most egregious edition out of this event. I've always wanted like proper seasonal events to become a thing again. Like when they did the original ones, and we got like Summer Hisoka and stuff like that. That's really cool. And they kind of moved away from it. And I'm kind of hoping that this is like a rebirth of it. You know, we had a proper New Year event. We had a proper Christmas event. We got a proper summer event. If we could get a proper Halloween event, that would be class. I think I can't remember the roadmap exactly, but I think we do have like a sensei feature around there with Matsui Sensei. I don't know. That's sort of spooky theme, but maybe they could do some Halloween stuff around that. Some other characters added. I don't know. But that'd be nice. that would be nice. I'm just hoping that they realize that when they do these like seasonal events, they can diversify a little bit, because they do tend to lean on the same safe series, and it's a little bit disappointing to me. But To Love Ru, you know, fair enough. It's only one character. It's an event unit, not a big deal. Then we have version 2 Bulma. Feels weird. Feels like we kind of already should have had a version 2 Bulma by now. And it's also weird that both versions of Bulma that we have are from like classic era Dragon Ball, pre-Dragon Ball Z stuff. I guess that's when she's most like present in the story. That's when she has the most to do. But it's just weird. All the Dragon Ball Z, all the Dragon Ball content for the most part focuses on like that adult Goku era. And, you know, that's almost all we've been getting the entire time. We did get, like, Tien, who had an older sprite. And then, yeah, we've got Bulma. 2 versions she has of her classic style. Am I holding out false hope for, like, a really cool, really good Yamcha standard gacha? Version 2? Maybe that's asking for too much. I don't know. I do like the OG Dragon Ball stuff. I actually think this Bulma is a really cool addition. I do question how we still don't have Chi-Chi. I'm sure she'll be added at some point. I don't know. We've got Videl. We've got 2 versions of Bulma. I know you could say that Chi-Chi is sort of a peripheral character in like later Dragon Ball, but at least, you know, she has a role to fill at some point in Dragon Ball. You could give her one version. It's weird. I don't know, but it's cool that she's been added. You know, I mean, you can see a side by side of her artwork and her sprite. It's pretty good sprite. It's a pretty good sprite. Was Bulma's hair always blue? It wasn't, was it? It was purple at the beginning, right? Am I doing one of those things where I just get all the stuff confused? Because I know there was a thing about Trunks' hair being purple and then turning blue at some point. I feel like Bulma did the same thing, and it wasn't until like I'm probably just remembering wrong. I don't know. Either way, sprite looks great. Very happy for her to be added. Yes, there is an argument that we're getting 2 event units here that are both version 2s, which is like, we're not getting much attention on other series. You know, feature festivals focus on one series, so you can't really ask them to focus on other series. But when you've got like an ensemble event, it's nice to be like, can we focus on some other series? And we've got Dragon Ball and Love Ru, who are both, well, Dragon Ball hasn't got as much stuff recently, but you know, it's at least had a limited, and it's had some content this year. And you know, Love Ru, I mean, sort of the same thing. It's, I don't know, I do like a bit of diversity. Well, let's go and look at the final station. We've got Minky from Hell Teacher Nube. Now, this is an addition that I really did want to see this year, especially after last year we got our version 2 Nube and we got Zeki added. And I was really hoping at some point they add Minky, and they have. There is more content I would like to see from Hell Teacher Nube. However, like, I'm not trying to get too greedy. If we can get 1 unit a year, that's better than what a lot of series get. So I'm not gonna get too greedy. I'm very happy for this edition. Her sprite looks awesome, and I am very happy. She doesn't come out until the 9th, which is a shame, but when she does, certainly getting max limit break, 100%. And it's just very nice. And I like the way the stages are themed. You know, you've got the beach vacation, you've got the mountains vacation, or it looks more like the wasteland, but like, yeah, the mountains, and then you got the forest. Yeah, I'm down. I'm vibing with the theme of this event. I'm vibing with the idea behind this event. Just some of the choices maybe a little bit questionable, but this one is not questionable at all. Fantastic addition. Very, very happy. Then we have the Grand Summer Vacation stage. Now, this is the stage that doesn't drop any characters, but it does drop all of the sets, the seafood, the meat, and the vegetable. Now, to be clear, if you collect these, you can just purchase copies of the characters in the store. It's probably not the most efficient way to do it, and obviously you're going to want to use the currency to buy the other rewards in the store, but just letting you know, that is an option. You don't necessarily have to do it the way it's intended. And this is basically like your final rush to clear out the event store, because it's going to be dropping all 3. It's only for the last like 5 days of the event or whatever, but certainly an opportunity for you to grab all the goodies before they go away. Now we have our challenge stages. The first one is Big Mom. Defeat her, which I already have, and you can get the shave dice we mentioned before, 150 rubies in total, which is really nice if you clear both stages. The romance tickets, which if you missed out on that earlier this year, that added Arlong and Kuro and Komurasaki, which weren't present on the other One Piece tickets, so potentially an opportunity to get them, but the rates aren't necessarily in your favor, but you might get lucky, you never know. And for the catastrophe event, the rubies, as I mentioned before, 5 jewel shards, almost scroll, and 20 limit break doors. Pretty good. Stage was moderately challenging, and I was able to be a first day. It can't be that hard. Like, I know obviously for newer players it's going to be a challenge, but if you've been playing for a decent little while, I think you'll be okay, because like, I didn't have to do any super tweaks to my team to get it just right to beat the stage. If I was able to beat it the first day I challenged it. But that being said, obviously I have quite a stacked account, so if you're a newer player and you can't beat it, don't feel too disheartened. I do believe you might be able to co-op on this stage, and you might be able to just get carried. I don't know. Co-op's in a bit of a weird place at the moment. That was another thing mentioned in the dev post, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. But yeah, nice rewards for this challenge stage. Then we got this one. Technically 3 different challenge stages. Now, worth mentioning here, they have what we call a named stage, which is, generally speaking, a little bit on the easier side in terms of a challenge. And then we had a catastrophe class stage, which, generally speaking, a little bit more difficult. I didn't find this to be as difficult as catastrophe class events have been in the past, but then again, units have been getting a lot stronger. Even units that were already in the game have been getting a lot stronger with their buffs and stuff, so that might be why. But in terms of these stages, these are all named difficulty stages. They're coming out one after the other, one day after the other. So I can't necessarily say how difficult they're going to be, but the first one I have challenged, and it was not particularly difficult, so I think you'll all be okay. And that's another 150 rubies for being all 3 stages, plus 1 of each jewel, plus these emblems. Not too bad. Funnily enough, when I was looking up the names for these, I was just going to call it like either the actual names of the characters, the toad, the serpent, and the slug, because they are actually named characters. Or I was going to call them Toad, Serpent, and Slug. When I put their Japanese names into Google, it took me directly to the Naruto English wiki for I don't know if it was for one of the games or if it was the actual just Naruto wiki, and it was just printed there word for word in English. I was like, oh well, okay, I guess I don't need to do any work here. So that's pretty cool. Then we have the limited battles. Now these are an additional set of challenge stages which have a special restriction. The most common restriction, we're seeing this a lot, is you can only use hero and event grade units, no limiteds, and no Muso / Densetsu, certainly. I did the first stage, which is out now, and I think I did the second stage, neither of which seemed too bad. And the rewards are pretty good. Now, the thing about these stages is it could be difficult to get into the right mindset for them, because with the challenge stages, you have it in your head, these are my buffers, and these are my weakeners, and these are my skill bubble creators, and my absorbers, and my pooty protectors, and all this stuff. Some abilities are just not available in standard gacha units, or event units, or whatever. And some abilities are not as strong, and it could be difficult to set your team up properly. You just gotta remember the fundamentals are the same. Find some units that buff, find some units that create skill bubbles. If the stage has a certain gimmick, find units that counter that gimmick. A lot of the standard gacha units are still pretty strong. The hidden potential units will do a lot of damage if you bring them along. I can't remember if both these first 2 stages require yellow units or just one of them, but if you bring along Tsukasa from Dr. Stone, he does a lot of damage. I think one skill bubble does 110k damage if he's got 4 hidden potential, bro. That's pretty strong. If you include other buffs and stuff, he's crazy. And a lot of these units are pretty strong. If you set up correctly, the same way that you would for these more difficult stages up here with your limiteds and stuff, just do it with the standard gacha units. They're not that hard. Just don't leave it to the last minute, because you might go into it thinking, oh, this is easy, and then your team's not set up for it, and you got to tweak it a little bit. Just think about it. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Maybe some of these later stages will be harder. This one, when it said Soma and Erina, I didn't know if it meant the dual unit and it's just fighting one character, or whether this is a stage where you fight 2 enemies, because that was the most challenging one in the Kimetsu no Yaiba event, the one where you had to fight Daki and Gyutaro, and you had to kill them both at the same time, which is basically the same as the way their stage worked before anyway, but now you didn't have any limits to help you, didn't have any Muso Densetsu to help you, and you had to think about it a little bit more. So I don't know how it's going to work, but I guess we'll see. That one's not coming out till right late in the event. And then we have the epilogue event, which is just clear it once and get some rubies. Not much else to it. And we have 2, count them, 2 Unity battles. Now, we don't have full information on these just yet. I am praying that these are both 100k Unity battles, so I can just get my rewards and leave. 200k is annoying. 200k is if it's done optimally, it's like 28 or 29 runs, which is, it might be like 27 or 28, I can't remember. It's annoying. It's quite a lot. It's high 20s regardless. But if it's like 300k, nightmare. That one time where they, in the Demon Slayer event, where they were like, clear it 50 times to get an emblem. And then they were like, do it again for the second one. I don't know why I did that, because I don't care about emblems. But it's safe to say that I do not want to do that again. I feel like 100k is pretty nice. And if they're not going to increase the amount of points you can get per run, and they're going to hold 2 Unity battles during the same event, I feel like 100k is a pretty good place to stop. But I don't know. I don't know just yet. But we have a Tobei, and we have Isao, Kondo, and these characters are different types than they normally are, which is weird, but okay. And you defeat them, and you get a whole hella load of rewards. If you haven't done Unity Battle before, you just have to clear stages, other stages, during the period that this is on, and you'll get bounty posters that you can use in Unity Battle. You have to be part of a guild in order to do it. It doesn't have to be a good guild. It can literally just be you, but you just need to be part of a guild. And you have to go in and you have to do nuts damage. As they mentioned before, they have been tweaking stuff, and one of the things they said was like, oh, we want it to be more open to everybody. So that's why like we've been doing more Unity battles. And to some players, they'd go, how is that better for newer players? That's so much grinding. But while yes, it is so much grinding, it doesn't require your stamina per se, because you're going to be getting posters just for playing the game, and you'll get more than enough posters to do the whole thing just by playing the game normally during the event period. But also, these stages, like, they don't fight back, so you can beat them. It might, if you can't do it optimally, it might take you ages to get a good amount of points and get good rewards, and for a lot of newer players that will be the case. But those, even like the lower level rewards, are a lot more useful to newer players, so it's still worth doing. So I kind of get it, but if you give me another 300k Unity battle and you make me do it twice in one event, oh buddy, I'm not gonna be happy. But I don't think they do that to us. Come on, like, it's summer. It's summer. We're supposed to be enjoying ourselves, not suffering. We have the special max luck missions. Make sure you do these. We've got the free units from this event and free returning seasonal event units. Get them to 99 luck and you get 100 rubies for each, a total of 600 rubies. These units are all either available from their events currently being reprinted, or possibly from the event exchange. I can't remember if they're both or one or the other, but certainly they are available at the moment. And if you haven't done them before, A, you gotta do them because they're gonna go away. And B, you gotta do them because you get rubies. So make sure you do it. Then we have the other Max Luck special reward campaign, and for doing this one, I mean, it's the same thing again. You just get characters to Max Luck, and I think it's just these 3 anyway. Lovely little set of rewards there, including the rainbow ticket, another 100 rubies. We're not turning our nose up at any of these so far. Very, very nice. And one of the rewards, this one here, Summer Heroines ticket, gives you one of these units guaranteed. So even if you've had horrific luck in this event, you didn't want to spend any rubies, but the freebies didn't give you a single seasonal unit, and you're just sitting there going, I didn't get a single seasonal like heroine. How can that be? I didn't have any of them and I didn't get any of them. It was so rude. Like, look, I saw my friends getting them. Well, guess what? This ticket gives you one guarantee. Now, to be fair, is the 3 old summer ones, but they've all been buffed during this event, so we're not too mad. We're not too mad about it. Take it and be happy. Take it and be happy. Then we have the Tower 4.5 anniversary campaign. Now, this was the one thing I was saying, that if they were gonna sneak something in, this is where I think it would be. And I'm not necessarily talking about as part of what's here, but possibly later. You see, the Tower 4.5 anniversary is on the 25th of August. Now, when I say it's on the 25th of August, that's not what the devs are saying in the news in-game, but it's just a fact. It's just, I literally put it in my calendar earlier this year when I was writing down all the possible things that could be events, could be special whatever celebrations, campaigns, you know, just so that I had a rough idea of what things I might want to save for and what things, you know, might be worth making videos on and whatever. So I knew what date it was on, and so unless they have forgotten or I don't know, they've changed the date. It wouldn't be the first time they've messed up the dates of something, but they've put this campaign starting from the 7th of August, and I'm pretty sure the Tower Anniversary is on the 25th. Now, last time they did a Tower Anniversary campaign, it ran for a whole month. This one, as far as they've announced, only runs for 2 weeks. So it is theoretically possible that this one runs for 2 weeks, and then there is another one that runs for 2 weeks that actually coincides with the anniversary. And then maybe they'd release like a new tower unit for that. In which case, it wouldn't even necessarily be in this data download. It could be in the next one. Because this one runs through past the end of this event. And then the next one would be during like the Bleach event or whatever. So it's possible, not necessarily probable. I mean, I don't know. I think it's much more likely that they just got the date wrong. And as a result of them getting the date wrong, just the campaign's at the wrong time, and this is all we're getting. I don't know. But the entirety of this campaign is pretty much there's some missions, which they haven't announced yet. There's a ranking which gives emblems, who cares? And there is an overall ranking which gives you a plaque. Now, even if I was in Japan and I felt like, yes, I could win this and I could display this in my house, I don't think I'd want to. I think in terms of like physical merchandise, if you were giving out something, a plaque with my name on it that looks like that, it wouldn't necessarily appeal to me. There is only one piece of real life gacha game merchandise that I own, and it was very nicely given to me by Boris Anime when we had a little meet up, me and Mr. Teacups, my fellow on this channel, and a few others, and Boris Anime. We met up in London, and he gave that to me, a One Piece Treasure Cruise physical piece of merchandise, and it was an enamel pin badge of Sanji. And I thought that was really cool because it's like actually like a sprite from in the game that they have made into an enamel pin badge. And it's like, that's awesome. And you could totally do that with like Jumputi sprites and stuff like that. This sort of thing wouldn't appeal to me at all. This like plaque thing, and it's like, it's got various logos of the random crap that's going on in the game right now. But I do understand the appeal of having like a piece of something from the game, and the fact that you have to win it is like, it's kind of a big deal. Obviously for most people, well basically anyone watching this video, it probably doesn't apply to you, because getting to the absolute top of the rankings is asking a lot. You got to be a mega whale to get up there, and to stay up there for 2 weeks and be within the top, what was it, top 3 players over the course of 2 weeks, that's asking a hell of a lot. And I don't feel like the reward is necessarily as good as it could be, but nonetheless, it's something. And if you happen to be watching this video and you happen to be living somewhere like mainland Europe or America or whatever, and you win, I would like to see how they handle that. Because I have a strong feeling that if you said, yeah, I won, here's my address, and it's in like Denmark, they're going to be like, no, we're not sending that to you. How are you even playing this game? Stop playing this game. But it would be interesting, at least, to see. I have a very strong suspicion that somewhere in the fine print it says this is only for Japanese residents. And in fact, initially I put that in the news post and I thought, I couldn't see actually seeing this anywhere. So I'm going to remove it just in case. Because if somebody is playing from abroad and they want to try and win it, I say go for it. You might not get it, but I say go for it. And here is the tower boost. Now, this is one of the other indicators that there may not be anything else added during this event period. The first week of tower boost here, that all those characters already in the game, already in the data download, so we know there's nothing new hidden there. So most likely nothing else is going to be added unless they've edited somebody out here, which I guess is possible. I don't know, doesn't seem likely. I think most likely no. we won't get something else added before the next day of download. But there may be something else as a part of this campaign for either Battle 2, or if they do like a Battle 3, Battle 4, could be in there somewhere. Hidden potential roster update, as I mentioned before, these 3 summer girls who were added in the original summer batch have gotten their hidden potential update, so an opportunity to do that. And if you do complete the like max up missions for this event, if you don't have one of these, you will get one of these from the ticket, so you'll be able to at least do one of these if you so wish. A lot of these units with their update are pretty good, but they're also they had uses beforehand, so it's like it's pretty cool. It's pretty nice. I can remember, I think it was, which stage was it? I think it was Meruem, the original Meruem Genkai battle. I feel like Haru was pretty damn good for that. I don't know if that's still the case, but you know, it's still nice. It's free. You get one of them for free, so it's pretty nice. You don't get to choose, but it is what it is. And the fact that they've all been buffed, as I have all of them, I'm quite happy about. Then we have the skill level cap increase. Summer Sasuke, who, as I initially thought, got his level 15 update for the summer, and they have made him really good, so I'm pretty happy about that. I mentioned a Halloween event before. I have a sneaking suspicion that if we do get one, we will see Nightmare Luffy getting his buff, even though there's probably loads of units from the past that are more deserving of it than need it more because they're so old. That could be a thing that happens, but he has been made pretty good as expected, and that's another thing. How do you get him? Like, actually, how do you get him? Like, I own him, so thanks for the buff. How do you get him if you don't already own him? He's not available, right? He's not on the Summer Heroines banner because that's all like heroines. He wasn't on the Itachi banner because that was like different kinds of. I think the only seasonals were Itachi and Minato. They didn't return his banner as far as I'm aware. Unless he's on that like stupid, like the one that has all the Musos and Densetsus and stuff on it. In fact, let me check. Where are the Naruto units? Or are the limiteds separate? The limiteds might be separate. Oh, they've got Winged Meruem on here. Gross. I think the limiteds are up here. Yeah, there we go. Summer Sasuke would be down here with the Naruto characters. No, he is not on there. Oh, he is on there. He is on there. Guys, if you want Summer Sasuke, you can get him from the All-Star banner. He has 0.007% chance of dropping, or you can do 32 multis and use a choice ticket to get him instead of Muso and Densetsu characters. Are they off their heads? Are they actually? That's insane. That is. I'm scrolling through thinking I'm going to see a banner I forgot about. It's not here. That is the only way you can obtain Summer Sasuke. So they've given him his level 15 buff, and they've told you to get on your bike, basically. The other buff is for Ichigo Kurosaki's Vasto Lorde form, which already had his hidden potential update. So they have buffed him even more since then. Some people arguing, oh, it's like not as good as maybe some of the other characters' buffs or whatever. He's still insane, bro. He's still so good. All these level 15s they've been doing in the last like few events have been strong as hell. And this one, like, he's beefy. Like, I'm using him a lot. He is very good. So very nice update. Both of them very nice. Vasto Lorde maybe slightly more accessible. But by the way, what I was saying before about Summer Sasuke, if you couldn't tell, I don't recommend going for Summer Sasuke unless they decide to print a banner where he is considerably more accessible. Don't. There's no level 15 banner in this, but I think the last time they buffed a unit that they weren't going to put on the level 15 banner, which was, I think, Vegito. No, was it Vegito? Maybe it was one of the other Musos or something. I don't... Who was it? There was another one where they buffed 2 characters and only one of them would have been on the level 15 banner, and they rolled it over to the next event. So, like, if during the Bleach event, if there's a level 15 update, there's 2 characters on there, Ichigo will probably be on that banner, which would make sense because it's during the Bleach event. So that's why there's no level 15 banner this time around. Then we have the first limited gacha, the first gacha of any kind, really, the first paid gacha anyway for this event, and it is Nami. Now, I think this is a really cool choice for a limited. However, these developers, they have some sort of vendetta against people who like are not One Piece fans, because yeah, okay, there's a lot of One Piece stuff going on right now, and if you are a One Piece fan, you're probably fully engaged into the whole Gear 5 Luffy's coming soon. I'm really excited for Gear 5 Luffy on One Piece Treasure Cruise, or whatever else they're going to add him to, Pirate Warriors, I don't know, and in the anime and all that stuff. We didn't get Gear 5 Luffy, we instead got a transforming Gear 4 Luffy, and in the following event, they've given us a transforming Nami. Now, that to me is a bit poor timing, because we've had so much One Piece content, so much, and I get it. One Piece is kind of a big deal at the moment. I do understand, but it's just like, guys, come on. I'm begging. Can we have an event or two where we don't get a One Piece character? Please. And I'm not talking about feature festivals. Obviously, if it's a Bleach feature festival, there's not going to be a One Piece character, but like, it feels like every ensemble, they just lean on the One Piece characters too hard. And it's a shame, because under any other circumstances, just in like a random event where it's like not all version 2 characters, it's not all like all the same series we normally get. If this was like part of like a Valentine's event and it was like a One Piece limited, and then the rest of the stuff was like from more niche series, and it wasn't directly after an event that dropped the One Piece character, which was directly after another event that didn't have a One Piece character, but the one before it did, and there was a One Piece feature festival. Like, if we could just have a period of calm, and then you do One Piece stuff, that would be awesome. We also, we were speculating about a new Nami not that long ago, but that was East Blue Nami, and they had made a sprite for her, and she wasn't added, and now they've added a different Nami, technically kind of 2 Namis, because it's transforming. And again, I don't hate her addition. I think she's a very cool choice for a limited. I think having her as a transforming is a bit odd. But again, it's not like there's 2 different sprites. It's like, it's kind of her undercover costume, and it's like she has 2 different ultimate attacks, like, and they're very distinctly different moments in the series. Yeah, I like it. Again, it's the timing, guys. Come on, and it doesn't have to always be One Piece. Also, Nico Robin added, and I would argue that this version of Nico Robin was one of my picks for like a limited Robin. I know a lot of people say like the, you know, Water 7, NES Lobby, all that stuff. Yeah, sure, arguably could be a limited. Definitely a bigger moment for her in the series, but I feel like in terms of showing off how powerful she is, this was sort of a big moment in the series, and would have been a very, very cool choice for a limited. Actually, I didn't check, is her special attack, is it the one I'm thinking of? The devil one, because it's in her name, the Enchanting Devil. So you would have to assume that is the case. I have to scroll through about 1 million pages on my computer to find this, but I will find it. Nico Robin, version 3 Nico Robin, technically. Is her ultimate attack the one I'm thinking of? It's not. It's just her bringing 3 hands out of the floor. So, if you're wondering if we're going to get the Nico Robin with the big devil, whatever, I can't remember what the actual ability was called. I think it was in Spanish. I can't remember. But if you're wondering, they're probably going to do that. So, look forward to that at some point. Probably in the next event. In that case, I'm not that fond of this Nico Robin, because now I know there's going to be another one, and that's going to probably be limited. But this one, I mean, it's still cool, and I think putting a one-piece unit on a one-piece banner is fine. I'm not a big fan of the banners where there's only one standard Gacha unit. It is like a double-edged sword, because on the one hand, if you want that standard Gacha unit, she's guaranteed on the 6th multi. On the other hand, I don't know, I like it when there's multiple. Maybe a choice ticket on the 6th multi, but they don't tend to do that. But all in all, this banner would be really cool in a one-piece event, or in an event that wasn't straight after one where we had a one-piece transforming unit as a limited, which we just had. In fact, one-piece Wano transforming unit from like the same part of Wano. Oh my god. It is what it is. I think Nami's really cool. It's just unfortunate the way devs do things. That's all I'm saying. Then we have this banner, another seasonal limited from Naruto, the 3rd one this year, the 4th one in total. What are they playing at? Who in the dev team is making these decisions? I don't understand. It must be making the money, otherwise they wouldn't be doing it. And obviously, these banners have their own charm to them, because while, yes, you only have to do 10 multis for Nami, and you have to do 15 if you want Tsunade guaranteed. Instead of it being as straightforward as Nami's, where you do 10 multis and you get your Nami, this banner has a bunch of other limiteds featured, has like seasonal standard gachas featured. You get like a choice ticket on the 6th multi, I believe, which lets you choose from a bunch of seasonal heroines, and that includes all these units. Some of them are very, very good, and Rukia, who's brand new, who's been added just for this event, and you can also get a guaranteed limited on the 10th multi, and that's a guaranteed pickup limited, so it's guaranteed to be one of these, and it's really not a bad pool of limiteds. And then on the 15th multi, you get to choose one, which if you haven't got Tsunade by that point, you should probably choose her. But if you have got her by that point, an opportunity to get Kirizu Sensei, who is also a seasonal limited, potentially. These banners do have a charm to them, expensive as they may be. However, again, the devs just make no sense to me. Why did Tsunade have to be a seasonal limited? I guess because she's in a swimsuit, sure. But why did Minato and Itachi have to be seasonal limits? They were just there. They were just there. But what? It's because they're like Edo Tensei? Is that like a thing? It's like Edo Tensei, it's got to be a seasonal limit. I don't really get it. But if you were going for either of these banners, I couldn't really blame you. They both got their appeal. This one in particular, like the fact that these units are all rated up, if you can choose one of them on the 6th multi guaranteed, like this is the most accessible these types of units have been. Like on the banners where they came out, you wouldn't have been able to choose one of them most of the time. So the fact, if you wanted to get like these like New Year units and stuff like that, like they made it a pain. I think like one of them they did where it was like, if you went all the way for the limit, I think it might have been Light and Ryuk. If you went all the way for the limited, you could use the limited, you could use the choice ticket at the end, and then you could choose them. If you weren't already using it on Light and Ryuk or one of the other amazing units featured on the banner, you could choose it on the seasonal. Like, it's so stupid, but in this banner, on the 6th multi, you do get to choose one. It's kind of nice. I don't know. I don't want to rant too much about the whole seasonal thing. I don't want to rant too much about the whole devs making weird choices thing. I'm just gonna say I'm happy Tsunade's finally got a limit. I'm happy Nami finally has a limit. The fact that these two units didn't have limiters, I mean, Nami is a bit more understandable, but Tsunade's version 1 should have been a limit, and she got downgraded when she came from the Taiwan server to Japan. Finally getting what she deserves. I do think her animations are slightly lackluster, but it is what it is. It's nice. It's nice. Moving on, we have Summerside A and Summerside B, basically the same banners, except what they've changed is these 3 units are pick up on this banner and these 3 units are pick up on this banner. And what they're being pick up means in regards to the banner as a whole, do you know there's a lot of other units featured on this? Every multi you do on this banner, and you can only do 2 on this one and 2 on this one, It costs 1,000 rubies and it gives you a guaranteed pickup 5-star. So you do your first multi on this, you're guaranteed to get one of these 3 units. Guaranteed. If you get any other 5 stars, one of these, like in total. And you can do 2 multis in total. So again, another opportunity to get some summer girls. I wouldn't necessarily recommend wasting your rubies here, because while these units are pretty cool, it's like if you have leftover rubies, probably just better off summoning on this because you can get some limiteds. But nonetheless, a nice touch, an opportunity to get some seasonal units. Not too shabby. Then the birthday gacha, there's actually quite a few. This time last year, it was just Emma. But this year, we got a little bit more. We've got Taiga Kagami, we've got Tokiko Sumura, Yuichiro Tokito, Endeavor, Shinsuke Takasugi, and Emma, of course, Emma. Emma's is the only one that wasn't in the data download because her birthday's on the 22nd, so second half of the month she'll be in the Bleach data download, but they did give us her banner in the news. All the others were in the data download. For any of those people that are going, maybe there'll be another data download. If there is, it's after the 10th, because this was in the data download for this event, and Emma will be in the data download for next event, so sometime in between them, but I really don't think there will be. But still, very nice opportunity to get these units. I think I actually have all of them. I do. I have all of them. But if you don't, an opportunity potentially for you. These, in terms of like value, it's always tricky because like they keep improving the value of banners so much, and they're making older limited so much more accessible than they used to. So it's hard for me to say, yeah, 8 multis here, go for it. But at the same time, 8 multis, first multi's free. At least for all of these banners, it's all a single limited. So it's like, if you get to the 8th multi, they are guaranteed on that step. So it's tricky, isn't it? It really is tricky. But nonetheless, definitely do the free multi. As always, definitely do the free multi on each of these. Then we have the recommended for Tower limited gacha. They have not updated it this month. They have rolled over the one from last month, but if you are familiar with these banners, they run twice during the month, in the first 15 days and then in the second 15 days, or however many days there end up being in that particular month. So this banner has reset for this month. If you haven't done the first summon for free, go do the first summon for free. Bunch of really good units featured on this banner. People always, you know, gravitate towards this banner because it's just really good. You know, I was talking about these units. It's like, can I justify 8 multis for, you know, Takasugi and Shirayasha? Maybe. But on this banner, 10 multis, and yeah, you might only get 1 limited out of that on the 10th multi. But these are all like recent limiteds, or for the most part recent. Some of them from last year, but still. And they're like really good. You can get like units that you would throw straight into your tower team here. And you have an opportunity to pull more on the way up to the 10th multi. So for me, plus one of those multis is still free, just like these banners up here. So for me personally, yeah, I really like this banner. And I can understand why a lot of people go for this banner. It's just, you know, they're giving out a lot more rubies than they used to, but they're putting on a lot better banners than they used to. So it's hard to decide where to spend your rubies. But if you're desperate for units that are strong in the tower, this banner is where you should go. They do have some other tower stuff on, but I don't think it's as good. We'll talk about that when we get to like the leaks and stuff. We have this banner, which I highly do not recommend. It got revamped earlier this year, and it didn't seem like good value then, and it's just got worse and worse. So maybe they'll update it at some point, but really, I don't know why anyone's summoning on this. I don't know why they're even putting it out there. This banner, avoid it like the Black Plague. Do not touch it. You do not want this. This banner, the fact that they put Giotto and Goldie Roger front and center, I always say this, is dastardly. It is a sin because their rates are not particularly high, and You can't get them guaranteed on any step. It doesn't matter how many summons you do on this banner. The only thing you can get guaranteed is if you do 4 rotations, which is 40 multis. Not 4 rotations, sorry, 10 rotations, which is 40 multis, because you have to do 4 steps. 40 multis, you can get a superstar limited choice ticket, which will let you choose 1 limited, which you could have just as easily done 1 up here. This, if you do this and go to the 10th boy, the choice ticket has units from 2023 that are all like really strong. This banner only goes, even if you get the choice ticket from the 10 fragments, it only goes up to the end of 2022. So how they could justify this as good value, I get it that it's like the rates are higher on 5 stars and stuff like that, but to me, I'm just not about it. Especially because like the 5 stars are like, you could just get like 2018 units. Maybe they've cut the pool off at 2022 or something like that, but it's just garbage. It's garbage. Don't summon on it. Then we have the Super Miracle Gacha. Now this is interesting. So we had the Miracle Gacha come out 2 events ago or 3 events ago, and it got renewed last event, and then it's here again. Now the Miracle Gacha, they haven't said when that's going to be coming out during this event, but they have released the Super Miracle Gacha. Now the Super Miracle Gacha includes a guaranteed 10% limited rate on the first multi, on the second multi 20%, and on the third multi 30%. And after that, you can't summon on this banner anymore. Now, obviously, you could do the first multi and get nothing, and the second multi and get nothing, and the third multi and get nothing. But on average, that shouldn't happen. Now, each multi, I don't know if I said the price of the multi. If I did, I might have said it wrong. I don't know. But each multi is 500 rubies. So for a total of 1,500 rubies, on average, you should be getting 6 5-star units by doing all 3 multis. On average. I get more, might get less. And each of those is guaranteed to be a green limited from 2018 to 2022. So that is, to me, quite nuts. Now, whether this is good value for you depends on whether you're a new player. Because veteran players, you're going to have most of these units. You're probably going to get screwed over if you summon on this. You might get lucky. You might get some 2022 units. I can't really recommend it, though. But for the low price and for the high rates, it's not awful for new players. Obviously, if you want to go super optimal, you should be going for one of the banners that gives you guaranteed super strong units. But if you're willing to roll the dice, this sort of banner is not too shabby. 500 rubies, and if I get a 5-star, it is guaranteed to be a green limited. And like the rates are super high, and yeah, it's kind of nuts. And they have one for red, and they have one for blue, and there's one for yellow. Don't be misled by the units on the banners, because these banners do not have a restricted pool beyond the fact that it's 2018 to 2022, end of 2022, green limiteds as the only 5 stars, or red, or blue, or yellow. So the fact that they've put like Tokito and Boa on the banner, do not be misled. They are on there, but they have as much chance of showing up as like version 1 Super Saiyan 3 Goku and units like that. So is this gacha better value than the other one? I don't think it is, and I'll talk about why in just a second. We have the limited character and golden jewel pack, which has returned again. They keep returning it, and I still like, it's interesting because it basically makes a lot of the other banners that are like 9,800 yen and don't give you 27 jewels worth of jewels and a limited ticket and 1,000 rubies. It makes them so not worth it. So in a sense, yes, this is a really good pack, but at the same time, it's a lot of money to spend, and you're not getting a lot of rubies for that. And for me, it's not something I do, so I don't really recommend it. This banner is not too far off being worth it. You get 1,500 rubies, 3 jewels worth of jewel shards, and 15 stamina tankards for 1,900 yen. It's not that far off. If you really wanted to go for it, it's not that far off. Remember, it's a daily pack, so you have to log in every day. But yeah, it's not too far off good value. This one is, don't buy this. Admittedly, you do get 4,000 rubies, which is more than you get up here. But you get like what? 6 jewels worth of jewels instead of 27. It is a limited choice ticket, so it is slightly better. But this one, as you can see, it's got Boruto and Naruto on it. you do at least have a chance of getting a unit from 2023. This one you don't. You can only choose units up to the end of 2022. Choice is always good, because the random chance you could get like Gear 4 Luffy or whatever. But at the same time, I don't know. Again, 9,800 yen, that's a lot of money to spend. Basically, any of the 9,800 yen packs, I'm basically never going to recommend those. It's too much money to spend. We have the Heroines pack, which is not worth buying. I really like. I think the like limited baiting up here is distasteful, but down here, this has like probably over 500 standard gacha units on it or something stupid like that. It's got so many on it, and the fact they choose 2 probably quite desirable ones from 2023 to advertise it, while I get it, I understand, you could at least like give them a rate up or make it a choice ticket or something, because I'm spending real hard cash here. Not worth it at all. This one is also not worth it. Don't try and bait me with Himiko Toga. Not worth it. This banner, again, is 9,800 yen, so I don't recommend it, but it is a choice ticket that includes units from 2023. So if you're going to consider one of the expensive packs, keep that in mind. Has 2023 units, but is also a choice ticket. Has a choice ticket, but not 2023 units in it. Has 2023 units in it, but not a choice ticket. A lot of things to consider there. These packs, I've mentioned it before, if I put the word chance in there, bear in mind that's just the devs put the word chance in there. But if the header says chance and it's a sales pack, that means there is a 0% chance that you should buy it, because it is bait. Do not buy it. What's this? 3% chance. 3% chance to get a limited from this ticket. What is the point? It's not even guaranteed to be a good limited. Get out of here. This pack, not worth it. Admittedly, a little bit on the cheaper side, 2,900 yen. 500 rupees, you get a limited. Not worth it. This pack is back again, and it is great. This one is it's great. As always, 480 yen. 480 is less than 500, which means you're spending less yen than the amount of rubies you're getting, which means you're doing good. Packs like this, get a thumbs up from me. This pack does not. This pack does not. I'm not going to go through why for all of these packs. You either take my word for it or you don't. Some of these packs just suck, and this one sucks, and this one, it sucks. This one, it sucks. This one, quite close to being alright. 1,200 yen for 1,000 rubies. It doesn't quite hit the mark, but they put this one on every once in a while. If you need 1,000 rubies, not too shabby. This one, not worth it. This one, not worth it. This one, not worth it. This one, pretty good. 1,900 yen for 2,000 rubies. Thumbs up from me. Very nice pack. And they tend to reprint this one quite a lot. So if you're in need of rubies, this is normally the go-to pack, at least for me. 5,000 rupee pack, for me, not worth it. Then we have the 1 per day pack, which, yeah, again, they put 2023 units on here. They put a limited on here. It is complete bait. As far as I can tell, the limited rates are super low, and there's like no restricted pool and nothing. This pack is garbage. You can buy it once a day, but don't. And I really, really do not recommend spending money on in-game items other than rubies. This pack does not offer you any rubies. So if it doesn't offer you any rubies, don't spend on it. Then the other tower banners that I mentioned before, they have one for the front line and one for supports. Now, the reason why I don't necessarily recommend this is because the other tower banner, which admittedly, yes, does cost more, is 10 multis as opposed to 5. The first multi is free on the 10 banner multi, and on the 10th multi, you get a choice ticket. This one you don't. You get a random unit. We don't know the pool just yet. It might literally just be these 4 characters. I don't know. But do I necessarily recommend it even if it is? No, I don't. Maybe if it was just those 4 and if you didn't have any of them, maybe. But it's probably not just those 4. It's probably quite a large lineup. And for me, I'd rather just have the choice. I'd rather, you know, spend the extra, save up, spend the extra, and have the choice ticket and get the awesome units from that. I can see why this might be tempting, but for me, it's just it's not as good value. Same with this one. They put these units on here. Yes, these are very good units, but you cannot tempt me. You cannot tempt me. Now, here's the other Miracle Gacha. What's the difference between these ones and the other ones? Well, the other ones you can only summon on 3 times. First multi is 500 rubies for a 10% rate. Second multi is 500 rubies for a 20% rate. And the third multi is 500 rubies for a 30% rate. And then you can't summon on it anymore. This banner, the first multi, 500 rubies for a 10% rate. And every multi after that will be 500 rubies for a 10% rate. It doesn't disappear after a while. You can keep summoning on it as much as you want. The key point here, and I don't know if this banner will be the same as the last one, but the Super Miracle banner has a basically unrestricted pool. It has every green limited from the start of 2018 to the end of 2022, not including seasonals. Or in the case of the red banner, the blue banner, the yellow banner, they have that color. Whereas the Miracle Gacha, when that was on last time, it had a super restricted pool. I think it had like maybe 10 limiteds on it total for each type. In which case, your odds of getting something that you want are a lot higher. Obviously, there are some older units on there, but if you happen to not have any of them, especially if like you're a new player, it might not be bad. We don't have the full details on this banner just yet, so it might come out that they've changed the pool and it's like it's the whole pool, and in which case it won't be worth summoning on. It won't be better than the other banner for sure. But if it is a restricted pool and you are a new player, certainly something to consider. Again, you are rolling the dice compared to getting something guaranteed. But if you like to roll the dice and you like to summon a lot, get loads of cool units, this is an amazing opportunity to pad your account out with a bunch of limiteds. So just we'll wait and see on that banner because we don't know the full details just yet, unless it is exactly the same as the last time, in which case top notch. Then we have the 5-step Bleach Gacha. I've never been a big fan of these banners. Yes, admittedly, like you get a bunch of Bleach 5-star units, which is great if you're a Bleach fan, and that's why they put these banners on. People who are new to the game, who are joining just for the Bleach stuff, an opportunity to summon and maybe get some good stuff. But I don't know. For me, it's not that good. It's not a choice ticket at the end. It's a random limited, so it's not worth it to me. And then the unannounced sales packs, none of which are worth it. I'm sorry. These ones are never worth it. The tower banners, you could make an argument for depending on the pool when they come out. Like, this one is like slot 1 of tower. If this has like, you know, the 4 best slot 1 tower units on it, and you're guaranteed to get one of them randomly, and you get 500 rubies and it only costs 3,000 yen, that's not bad. That's really not bad. And then the same could be said about any of these slots, like if it's just like the 4 best units in class. But if it's like the best 10 units in class or something like that, it's not worth it. That's just my opinion, obviously, but I really do feel like if like this first one, I don't know who the 4 best slot ones are because I don't play tower enough, but you see Medica a lot, you see Tanjiro and Giyu a lot. Like if you had them 2 plus like 2 more who are like really solid slot 1 units, like arguably would certainly be worth it for a new player, obviously. So, or if you don't have any of the 4 and you've been desperate for a slot 1 for your tower team, then yeah, in that case it might be worth it. But ultimately, if it has any more than 4 units on it, or if it's like 3 really good ones and 1 stinker or something like that, then I can't really recommend it. But something to consider at least. And then we have this pack down here. They did 2 support ones. So instead of doing like slot 1, slot 2, slot 3, slot 4, then support slot 1, slot 2, slot 3, slot 4, because there is a lot of crossover. There's like a pack A support one and a pack B one. Again, if this is like the 4 best units in class and the 4 best units in class, sure, might be worth it. But if not worth it. You gotta remember, a lot of these units also have use in PvE as well. Like if you get Dembo, like she's one of the best blue units in PvE as well. So from that perspective, it's like I could get something really good here. But again, something to consider once we actually see the pool. And that's it for the news post. Now, in terms of the responses and stuff, now obviously I haven't translated this yet. I've got Google Translate running right now, which is probably going to do an awful job, but I'm just going to hit on the points of the responses to player inquiries from the devs for July 2023, which they released like a few hours before July ended, probably because they didn't have a lot to say. People complaining about not having enough coins for limit break. Obviously they've been giving out a lot more doors, and ever since the plus 99 limit break update, while they've steadily been increasing the amount of doors you can get, they haven't really been steadily increasing the amount of gold you can get. They have been holding like special campaigns where you can get boosted gold from the gold island, but you've got to use a lot of stamina on that. You've got to find a lot of time to do that, as well as do all the other stuff in events. So people are asking for a little bit of consideration, especially because during the Demon Slayer event, they asked us to limit break characters as part of the missions, which a lot of fans were like, you know, it's kind of unfair, because it's like, what if I haven't got enough gold? What if I haven't got enough doors? Okay, you gave me enough doors, but what about the gold? Like, if I don't have enough stamina, I'm really in a tight spot here. And you're making me use these doors on these characters. It's kind of rude. So, yeah, they're going to look into it. I think one of the big things they could do is increase the max coin cap, because sometimes you think, oh, I'll sit there and I'll just farm gold, but it's like, you'll farm gold until you get up to a certain point, and then you got to stop, and then you got to go limit break a bunch of characters, and you got to come back and start farming gold again, and it's just like, yeah, it would be nice if you could just let me just farm at my own leisure, save up at my own leisure, and then use it at my own leisure. Talking about the players who want to see more events added to the game, or adventures. I mentioned this before when I said like they'd split the summer event up into 4 separate stages instead of it just being 1 points event. I do prefer that way of doing things personally. I don't think it makes, theoretically on paper it doesn't make that much difference, but it feels different. It feels like I'm doing something different. We're looking forward to this day when this new stage comes out and we got this new thing to beat and we get this new character. Whereas when it's like, oh, like day 2 of this event, I'm farming the blue door instead of the green door, and I get different character from the event store. It's not the same, personally. I like having the different stages. I think they need to do that more often, and they do need to add more difficult stages. But they say not enough people play the difficult stages, so I don't know. And they basically said that they made those changes because that's the way they felt more players would be able to play the game and enjoy the game. And as far as they're seeing, that works. You know, if you have too many difficult stages or too many different things for people to do, it might deter new players from playing. So this is a way of getting more people into the game, more people enjoying the game when they get here, more people being able to actively compete, take part, and complete missions and all that stuff. So I get it. I do get it. But yeah, I think certainly something to consider. And one of the things they mentioned was one of the real pleasures of playing Jumputi is being able to get the costume after clearing a catastrophe class stage. And they said, we will consider it again for future special feature festivals. Will they actually? I don't know. Because, you know, they don't seem to enjoy making costumes for us, which is a shame. It's become less and less of a thing over the years, but I'm praying that they bring it back. I really am. And I'm hoping they bring out more difficult stages too, because yeah, a lot of these stages are like, oh, this is too hard, I can't beat it. But it's like, that's, for me, that's part of the game. It's like, if I can't beat it, there will be an opportunity for me to beat it in the future. And it's something for me to work towards. And on top of that, if I want to play co-op and I want to do it with friends and we beat it together, and I can feel like, oh, I helped my friend beat this, or my friends helped me beat this. It's like, that's a good part of the game to have. And that's kind of gone away over the years a little bit. So a bit of a shame. Then they talk about the difficulty of limited battle. Basically, it's a little bit on the easy side. There's been like maybe one stage that was too difficult, but for the most part, it's been a little bit on the easy side. And they basically said, like, look, we decided to make it just a little bit easier and then like, you know, work our way up. And it's just, you know, it's just taking time. It's just taking time to work its way up, because you know, the first one they released was a little bit easier, but then in Demon Slayer, when they made it a little bit harder, a lot of people couldn't beat it. Now, to be fair, I think that one stage where you had to beat Daki and Gyutaro was significantly harder than the other stuff. And because that was right in the middle, and it basically stopped you from playing the other stages because you couldn't beat it, I think that was a not great way to go about it. Especially because it was like, it's not just the stage gimmicks, it's not just how good your units are, but you had to play very strategically to kill them both at the same time. Admittedly, there were easy ways to do it, but if you're a new player, you don't know about that stuff, it makes it a lot more difficult for you. And I think just personally for me, if you have a difficult stage at the end of the set of limited battles, and then if people can beat it, they can beat it, if they can't, they can't, and it's something that comes back in the future and you have an opportunity to be in the future, then I think that's fine. But I think that the approach was maybe a little bit wrong this time. But they are saying that they're trying to make it so that limited battles are the difficult stages. They want them to be difficult, and they're going to add some variations to it in future festivals. So they just said, just let us know the things you want to see. Keep letting us know, and we'll look into it. So I don't really know what changes they could make. Like, I think the thing they've set themselves up for is everyone is just going to be hero and event units, because, you know, the limiteds and the Musos and the Densetsus are just too powerful. But at the same time, it's like, it's going to get a bit boring if it's the same stuff every time. So it's like, you've got to find the right balance, and it's a little bit tricky. Now this one is really funny. They're talking about co-op. Basically, co-op in the last event was cancer. They wanted you to play co-op, and they had set it up so that getting the egg stones, the only way you could get the additional ones to clear out the store, was from playing co-op. It later turned out that they had decided against that, and they were giving out the egg stones as an additional reward for the amount of Unity Battle clears. And because everybody was playing Unity Battle and we hit certain goals, they gave us out enough of those eggs that if you did the missions and you logged in and collected those eggs from the gift box, you could basically clean out the whole store, at least all the good stuff, and you didn't have to worry about doing the co-op side of things. But the idea of getting people to get involved with co-op was pretty good. The problem was people were opening up lobbies and no one was joining. Or people were trying to join from single player, and there was so many lobbies. You know, if you say you and one other friend want to play, but you need a 4-player lobby because that was the rules of the event, you can't just host a lobby and then make it public, because that's not an option. So if you make a private lobby, it's just going to be the 2 of you. So instead, you think, okay, I'll host a public lobby. If you just find my lobby, then that's already 2 of us, and then we'll just wait to get 3 and 4. But the problem with that is there were so many lobbies all at once, and it only showed you 5 on your screen at one time, and then you had to refresh. You couldn't find your friends' lobbies. It was impossible. Not impossible, but it was very, very difficult. So they made a situation where it just wasn't worth doing the co-op, really. Even though people wanted those rewards so badly, you could do so many runs and not get the eggs, because the eggs were quite rare. Admittedly, yes, if one of the joining players, like if the drop for the joining players was linked together, so it meant that basically if you're hosting the run and you're doing a ×7, your first drop is what everybody's going to get, but the other 6 drops they don't get. So your first drop, if you got an egg, they all got an egg. But if you got it on like drop 7 or drop 6 or whatever, you got the egg, but nobody else did. So the rewards for you playing solo and joining the lobby were not that good. So everybody wanted to host rather than join, because you wanted to do your ×7, you wanted to get through your stamina, you wanted to give yourself the best chance of getting these eggs that you could get. So they made a terrible ecosystem for co-op. It just, like, nobody wanted to play it after a certain point, even though they felt like they had to, because they'd made it just a nightmare. It was an absolute nightmare. And so they're talking about, should we increase the benefits for people joining the game? Personally, I would. If someone's hosting a ×7 run, I want all 7 drops if I'm joining. Immediately you might say, oh, but you're not contributing stamina or whatever. But if it's an event like that where it's like the eggs are hyper rare, if they get an egg, I want an egg. That's the way I see it. I'm helping you out by joining your lobby so you can use your stamina. If you get an egg, I want an egg. But that's not how they went about it. So they're talking about tweaks they can make in the future, especially because there were like a lot of bugs, like people getting kicked to the home screen, and like that, you know, in a lot of games where it's like if you're playing together with friends, like I know it's not exactly a one-to-one comparison, but if I was playing Destiny with a friend, when we finished a raid, I'm not just kicked back to the Destiny title screen or to like my own Destiny hub world. We carry on playing together if we want to, and if I want to leave, I can leave. So I should have a rematch option, a carry on option, whatever. If there was an option where it's like, if the guy who's hosting the lobby ran out of stamina, if it's like, oh, I've got stamina, and it can change me to the host, if there was a button for that, that'd be great. That might be asking a little bit too much, but you get the idea. Having more options and, you know, not just sending people back to the title screen makes a lot of sense. Especially like in terms of the lobby, like if I could have an open lobby where other people could join, if I could close it, get my friend in, and then open it and let other people join, that would be amazing. They haven't implemented something like that, but I'd like them to. And just, yeah, just there was lots of problems. There's lots of barriers to actually doing what they were asking us to do. So they're looking into it. And they're thanking us for our patience. And they're probably going to make some changes. God knows what they'll be. But looking forward to that. People have asked for tower battles between friends. Not me, but somebody. And they said this is something they've been looking into for a long time. And they do want to do something. But it's just not necessarily something that's going to be easy for them to implement. So they're working on something, but they've been saying this for a long time. So what that'll actually result in, I don't know. And the final thing, which is something they've already mentioned in the past, although I don't know if I mentioned it in a video, because I don't think I've made a video since then. But the event that is coming in September, the Mystery Feature Festival, is Sakamoto Days. We are getting new characters from Sakamoto Days, which hopefully Future Robert has edited onto the screen for you to see. They've announced some of the characters. There will be more. I think Lu, what's her name? Lu Xiao. I can't remember her whole name, but basically, she's not being added. I'm not sure how they came to that decision. They basically said, "Oh, she's not featuring in these arcs," but the other characters, yeah, they're being added, and there'll be more characters, which is cool, I guess. But at the same time, people are a bit perplexed. Sakamoto Days is not necessarily a bad choice, especially seeing as it's going to be getting an anime announcement soon. But I think the way they were talking about like the past of Jump and the future of Jump, I think a lot of people were hoping, you know, we got Roboco earlier this year. We're getting Sakamoto Days was teased as well. Could it possibly be a case of like multiple series being added? Could it be a case of this is the first of many? I know they talked about having troubles adding certain series in the past, but there is a lot of stuff in Shonen Jump. And if like the barrier for you deciding to choose a series, because they said it was actually recommended to them by the staff at Jump. And, you know, that makes sense. If Sakamoto Days is getting an anime, supposedly there's going to be an announcement soon. It makes logical sense that they'd be like, you can help us promote this. Add Sakamoto Days to Jumputi Heroes. So it would be nice if something like Yozakura Family or Undead Unluck got featured, because both of them have upcoming anime. Those ones have actually been announced at this point, but still would be an opportunity to you know, mention those. And so I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this. I think it's very cool that it's being added. I love seeing new series being added from like current Jump. That's really cool. And any new series being added to the game is always cool. I kind of really like that idea of like the future of Jump, or the present of Jump, or whatever. I'd like to see more of that, and I'd like to see more of lots of series, to be honest. A lot of series get left by the wayside so that we can do more One Piece and we can do more Naruto. And yeah, those series are great. I won't disagree with you, but yeah, just once in a while, if we could just appreciate and we could just give some new stuff. And I would love to see more stuff from Modern Jump. I'd love to. The fact, bro, today we got an announcement. Fortnite is getting a Jujutsu Kaisen collab, and it's like the first. It's not the like first collab they've gotten. They've been in a bunch of stuff. They've been in Ninjala. They've been in Kotodama. They've been in loads of stuff. Like, how we're not getting a collab on Jumputi Heroes, I don't really get it. I know that they say there's like some complications. Whether the actual author was like, no, I hate your game, you're not going to pootify my little characters, which on the one hand I would understand, but on the other hand, you added them to Ninjala, you already chibified them. So I don't know. At this point, this video is much longer than my normal news videos, but thank you if you've somehow made it this far into the video, for staying with me. I hope you enjoyed. Please consider liking or commenting or subscribing if you haven't already. And another reminder that we do have that second channel, which we're putting the effort in over there. I'm hoping that people are enjoying that content. Obviously, you know, we're doing different kinds of stuff, and we're slowly working towards having sort of a broad spectrum of content over there. And I'm hoping some of it might not vibe with you, but some of the other stuff might. I don't know. But do consider checking it out. Link in the description. And that's the end of this video. Hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time.